guys are doing something that 99.9999999% of Christians that come to Israel to visit don't come to.
In order to conduct a tour like this, we had to communicate with a number of people and coordinate with various places. As a result of the ongoing attempted peace process between Israel and the Palestinian Authority, 3 administrative areas have been created inside biblical Judea and Samaria, which is also called the West Bank. Area A is exclusively under the control of the Palestinian Authority. In Area B, the Palestinian Authority is over civilian control with Israeli military over security. In Area C, the Israeli government is over civilian control and security. We made sure to take our group into all 3 areas on our Bible Beyond Borders tour. So the tension is that you have 2 groups of people, both with a stake in the land. And you got Israel, who is a legitimate since 1948. We are a country, we've acknowledged that. We took what was given through the United Nations. The Arab population decided not to take their portion of it, so you have this clash that's going on all the time. Yet for us, we want to go to the places where the Bible took place. And sometimes that means we've got to cross a border. And when we cross a border, sometimes we even need a military escort. Terrorism is a way to try to get people to be afraid, then they win. And I think for us, what we say is we don't want to be afraid, but we want to be a people of faith to get to the places where this most important book was actually written. Well, if there's anything such as going to a place that is the Bible Beyond Borders, it is here at Hebron. In Hebron, you have this amazing building that was built 2,000 years ago by Herod the Great, they call him. He was a great architect. And as you can tell, this is a massive building. Inside this building, on one side, you have a Jewish synagogue. On the other side, you have a Muslim mosque. So I've been for the last few months trying to learn a little bit of Arabic just to make a connection with my brothers over there. And sure enough, I was able to do that. And as a result, I felt like we had an open door. So this is Bible Beyond the Borders. We are in Hebron, a place that many tour groups won't come, but we feel like the Bible goes beyond the borders, and certainly Hebron is a place where that works, and it worked here.
Now we go inside. In 1994. In 1994, it was a big massacre inside this building. There is American Jewish, his name Baruch Goldstein. He come in 15th of Ramadan, where people was pray to Mecca, like that direction. He was carrying M16 gun, and he entered inside this building, and he killed 29 Palestinians and 150 injured. Yes. After that, the mosque is divided for 2 parts. Jewish, they take 60% of the mosque, and Muslim, we take 40% of the mosque.
10 days out of the year,
Yeah.
the Jewish can come to this side.
They take both sides of the mosque. We can go to the other side from the mosque as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only 10 days.
10 days in the years.
When I travel to Hebron, I always attempt to visit both sides of the tomb of the patriarchs. It is surreal to look at the same tombs from both the synagogue and mosque sides of the building. I often wonder what Abraham would say about the deep divide that exists within the lineage of his sons Ishmael and Isaac. I realize that the depth of the discord between the seed of these blood brothers is deeper than the cave beneath this 2,000-year-old building that houses the bones of their father Abraham. However, it is still my hope and prayer to be a light within this darkness of division.
Every day in the morning, they put olive oil with a small candle, and they put it inside the cave, because nobody allowed to go inside this cave. This cave, it's closed since 1987.
صباح الخير يا أخ. كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله.
كتير.
شرفتونا.
بسم الله. You want me?
Yes.
I can do it? شكرا.
Bismillah.
This is the actual. Oh my goodness. Whoa.
Abraham, Sarah, Rebecca, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, all our prophets, they are inside. People nobody allowed to go inside.
My heart is beating.
أهلا وسهلا.
My friend, Aaron! Good to have you, my friend. We've got a whole group of people. We're going from our bus to...
Joshua's altar.
And what is it about this bus? What's different?
This is an armored bus.
Huh?
The Israeli army is actually
Wait, you got the... No, you got the army for us?
Yes. The army is going to be with us. We're going to have handsome Israeli soldiers with rifles, and they're going to escort us on the way to one of the most exciting biblical places in the land of Israel, Joshua's altar.
Well, let's go. So we had an opportunity to do something that was going to be, I called it the creme de la creme. It was the crown moment for us with the Bible Beyond Borders tour, which would take other people to be involved, the military to agree to escort us, our bus driver being willing, and basically the tour participants saying, yeah, we're willing to go into this area to see this one thing. Joshua's altar, which is about a 3,400-year-old structure that's based on a command that God gave Moses, that Moses gave Joshua, that when you cross the land, go to this specific place and build an altar. 1960s, they find it. This goes on for 30 years. They're searching. They finally find it, and then something happens. There was some violence that took place at Joshua's altar, because once they found out about it, people would go there. And actually, there was a murderer. So it's a lot of tension that was taking place around Joshua's altar. Now in 2019, they found something at Joshua's altar that changes the game for biblical scholarship. They found an ancient tablet with ancient Hebrew with biblical curses on that tablet. If it is what we believe it is, it will cause scholarship around the world to shift regarding what we would say is the biblical narrative, that the language was actually ancient, that the altar was there. And by the way, the altar's at a place where God said, literally, here's where you say the curses, and across the way at Gerizim, here's where you say the blessings. And we stood on the mountain of curse where they found a cursed tablet. We walk from here? Okay. תודה רבה. בארצות הברית. Huh? This way. Does anyone have any idea how old this is? We're talking about 3,400 years old. They found it at the very spot where the Bible says it would be.
The book of Deuteronomy, the last one of the 5 books of Moses, is basically Moses talking to the people of Israel before dying, and it's his last will. It's his advice to the Israelites. And the main theme that repeats itself constantly in the book of Deuteronomy is, if you follow God, you will be blessed, and if you don't follow God, you will be cursed. The first place that we hear about this, connecting this major theme to a geographical formation, like a mountain or 2 mountains, is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11. See, I'm setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you obey the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you today. The curse, if you disobey the commands of the Lord your God and turn from the way that I command you today, by following other gods which you have not known. When the Lord your God has brought you into the land you are entering to possess, you are to proclaim on Mount Gerizim the blessings, and on Mount Ebal the curses. First of all, it's important to understand that my heart and soul is in this place that we are right now at Joshua's altar. As someone who's a Bible believer, to be able to stand here and touch Moses and Joshua for me is so so exciting. And in the last few years, I saw how the site deteriorated and how it's not being taken care of,
Right.
and it's sometimes even being vandalized. And we had to do something. And so I joined together with an archaeologist from Houston by the name of Scott Stripling.
Wait. Wait, just a second.
Yes.
There's a man named Scott Stripling,
Yes.
Dr. Scott Stripling,
Yes.
who has already presented to the world
Yes.
that they found probably the most significant thing, you guys. It's a little tablet, a little cursed tablet. You called him?
Yes.
So you were a part of that?
Yes.
Okay, keep going. Keep going.
And what he suggested was that because we can't excavate at the moment, that we would extract the archaeological dump that was created in the 1980s during
Right.
the excavations of
Right.
Professor Adam Zertal,
Right.
and reanalyze them. Maybe Adam Zertal missed something. And this time we're going to use different techniques that would be able to analyze the material better. And Scott came with his crew. They started working and wet sifting the materials. And after a few days, Scott calls me and he says, Aaron, we found something. Come over here.
Okay.
I come and he opens his hand and he shows me a small lead tablet, about 2 inches by 2 inches.
The little lead tablet that the world's talking about right now.
Exactly. And we were so excited, but we didn't know what we had. But the great thing is that this site was only used once in history by the Israelites, and that's it. And so there were good chances that this tablet is actually belongs to the Israelite time, the Israelite nation, the Israelite civilization. And so we were very excited. We couldn't believe that this might be maybe one of the biggest archaeological finds that was ever found in the land of Israel. But you know, what's interesting is that the possibility that there are more tablets.
Oh, absolutely.
That there are more findings here that we could find if we continue researching this site.
So we just need more people to come.
We need more people to come, and we need Israel to take responsibility, full responsibility over this site and make it a national heritage site. This altar here is one of the oldest structures in the land of Israel that belongs to the biblical heritage of not just Jews, but also Christians. I'm inviting you to come to the biblical heartland of Israel.
Amen.
Come to Shiloh, come to Hebron, come to Bethel, come to Mount Ebal, come to Mount Gerizim, the places where the Bible really happened.
The first time I ever came to Israel was in 1988. I came on a Christian tour with my church, and we were on a bus, and we went from church to church, and the tour guide kept saying, "This is the rock," and he would say, "This is the tradition," and I just looked, like whatever he said, I just took it as truth. By 2002, when I came back to Israel, I started to meet different people that actually have their hands and what I call their boots on the ground in Israel, and I started finding out that there are places in Israel where it's not a matter of tradition, it's actually a matter of truth through archaeology, through language, through history, through context. And I thought, wait a minute, so where are these places? Well, some of those places are like where I'm sitting right now. They're beyond the borders, yet they're so significant.
When you come to Israel and you visit these sites and you get to touch them and to see them, you're learning about the archaeology of finding them. Not only are you strengthening your belief, you're also getting a better understanding of the scriptures. Things that you pictured in America or in France as happening in a certain way suddenly change because of the reality on the ground.
But the one thing with the Bible Beyond Borders or the BFA tours is that we truly take a biblical approach. So if you really want to understand the Bible, then I think that's where Keith and the BFA come into play, because we literally open the Bible to exactly what it says, so you have a real understanding of this place and you understand the importance. You get to be a part of history almost. So you get a real relational between what God said in His Word and what He tells us, because you're right there at that actual spot that it actually happened.
Where we were is a place that proves what Yeshua was standing for was real and true. He was upholding the book of origin, the Torah.
This really puts the story in the context, because it's where it happened. It's not just a story, you're seeing.
It was personal. It was a spiritual awakening. As a marriage, it was just a togetherness. It was just a feeling. It was just the fact that we had read so often and heard so many sermons and have studied myself personally.
We were looking out like I could just imagine, like, was he there? Was he here? He was everywhere right here. It was unimaginable. It was the best ever.
So Keith, for me, is someone who loves truth. And he wants people to understand it in its context. And if we don't have context, we don't have the story. And what Keith does an amazing job of is giving the context and then giving the story. And that's what's special about being here, is because it brings more context.
I would encourage anyone that's watching this to start saving money outside of your direct needs. If that's your bills, your lights, start saving money to get to Israel, to experience it. Because once you experience it, changes your life on how you're going to change generations when you go back home.
I think for me, it's way beyond what we expected. As a first-time tour, I already know a little bit of how the second one's going to happen, or look, and the third one. And we are getting along through the tour itself, because as I said, there are no borders. And we are making new decisions and changes, but we just can feel whatever the energy that is coming with the people from us, this is just what we were hoping for.